My name's Dean Watling. What do I do in the wagering landscape? I work in a couple of different capacities, mainly as a form analyst for a couple of different companies. That doubles down with work with stables, jockeys, speed maps, placement of horses, and then probably on the backside of that, helping buy and sell horses from overseas and hopefully bringing out to Australia and winning some of our rich prize money. I don't come from a form or a horse racing background as much. I don't really have it in my family, but got attached to a horse by the name of Winks, and from there sort of got hooked. Yeah, the journey's sort of just begun. Yeah, I got started sort of understanding that you could actually lay a horse. I thought that was absolutely fascinating. Here I am trying to back horses to win, and then there's the flip side where you could back a horse to lose. So that sort of got me into it. But through the journey, through the right people, through the education, I think you can start to marry up your strengths in sort of doing the form and then what strengths that entiles into Betfair. But I think the best thing about Betfair is I've sort of been looking at it for a while now, and you still discover new things every day, every week, and there's new aspects, new people using it in different ways. Early on, but we're still getting there, still educating ourselves on it. Different to most, the way I approach a race, I think there's two sides to it. I have a big emphasis on sort of background and having a profile on horses prior to actually getting to the race. So I like to bet off trials, especially in Sydney, into maidens, and then you get to race day. So we have a lot of tight turning tracks and a lot of sort of bias, you could say. That's the first starting point after I've sort of done the week, sort of the work back from that. Outside of horse racing, through school, I was a much better visual learner. So replays come first, and then I like to cross-reference that. If it's not a maiden, sort of your ratings, how that sort of marries up. Do I plus and minus a horse for its last start? Did it get to the best ground? And pretty much have a good idea in the first sort of 5-10 minutes of doing a race if I like the race, if it's going to be a betting race for me. And then, yeah, from there we figure out if that's the right price, if we're going to chime in now with the corporates, if we're going to bet late with Betfair, we're going to bet early and then lay off, how are we going to sort of attack the race. I say 50% of mine's done pre-race, the weeks leading up, and then acceptances, and then I think the king of it all is when do you chime into the market. I think probably 95% of the makeup of a race and what I want to do betting-wise is how the market moves late. My whole philosophy, and that's backed up by my results, is beating SPs. I want to be backing horses at 4s that then start 2s, and all you can control as an analyst is what the market does before the race. I think we can be really tough on ourselves and be outcome biased. Yes, you beat the market, but it's held up and doesn't get a run, and you're angry at yourself for a bad bet. I think you strip it right back and not be outcome biased, and all you can control as a form analyst is beating the market before the race and then judge yourself on that. Betfair moves first, the corporates jump on the back of that. I think that's big for Betfair. You don't even need to place a bet, and it's giving you information in the wagering landscape. So I'd say it's massive for me. It's what I watch right up until the jump, what the exchange is doing, if I made the right bet, and then what happens in the race, it's out of my hands. I think mentally, that's massive for me, because it can be really taxing. I don't think I would be where I am without some key influences. Chris Camilleri is a great influence early in my career. He probably taught me the basics. I got lucky enough to talk to Dominic Byrne, who taught me how to price the market to 100%. I probably, when he did teach me, probably didn't realise how influential Dom was in the game. But I think that was massive as well. Through there, my love sort of come with the trials, and I know he works with Betfair, Tom Haylock. He'll probably get a little bit excited about this, but he was very influential in the way I attack sort of trials. So Brad Davidson, Mick Gannon, who are more so the rating side of it, having a good team and a good, you'd say, friendship or wagering group behind you, especially for the tough times, is massive. I like being the younger sort of side of it. I think it's a changing landscape, like a lot of people have mentioned. I'm very passionate, especially the way where I've come from. I don't have a horse racing background. I didn't grow up in it. I just love the game, and I think I'm very passionate about paving the way for the next sort of younger people coming through and making not just wagering, but the landscape itself, make sure it's healthy and that there's something there for us all in 10, 20, 30 years' time. It's a terrific time to be a young analyst. I really love it, but I think there is a responsibility on younger people coming through as well. Betfair's massive in the sense of its place in the industry. I probably think that it's not quite recognised enough on how big it is. The amount of information you can get off Betfair without even placing a back or a lay bet is phenomenal. I think it's the backbone of a lot of analysts, myself. My advice for someone who wants to be a bit more disciplined in the game and obviously gamble responsibly would be to track your bets, start small and enjoy it.
What are you really gambling with? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.